everyone, welcome back to another fine episode of Raven Knight's Nostalgia Corner. You're currently listening to Season 1, Episode 6, Tinkerbell Cosmetics. Woo! A subject I've been waiting to discuss for a while. I am Raven Knight, your nostalgic queen, and I want to give a verbal disclaimer before we get into this. Now, even though this podcast is titled Tinkerbell Cosmetics, I do not want to mislead Disney fans or cause any problems with Disney. That being said, even though Disney's name, as well as Tinkerbell, their character's name, is mentioned a couple times in this, I am not, you know, defaming them or basically causing libel and slander or anything of that sort. I also do want to let you know, in case I did mislead anybody by the title, I am sorry to each and every Disney fan that's listening right now, thinking that I misled them. I have no intentions of doing that, but you're welcome to stick around if you choose not to. Thank you for your time. And now, that being said, grab your magical wands full of pixie dust and those beautiful light up wings you've been itching to wear for a while, and let's fly off into the night to learn more about Tinkerbell Cosmetics. So, let's fly! Tinkerbell Cosmetics was predated by Little Lady Cosmetics, which was distributed by a company under the name of Helen Pessel in 1946. In 1952, a being under the name of Myron Greenfield founded the company Tom Fields in the United Kingdom. Tom Fields was the parent company for Tinkerbell Cosmetics, and their sole purpose of that company was not only to manufacture but to sell cosmetics and toiletries to young kids. Now, pause. There is a little known fun fact here, and I have to elaborate on this a couple times. So this is elaboration number 1. These toiletries and cosmetics that I'm talking about were nothing like the play, pretend, or toy cosmetics you see on the market for kids today at local stores like Walmart or Target. Many of these consisted of talc powders and other dangerous ingredients. And here is just a couple things that were listed in some of these products that I was able to get a list of. One of these dangerous ingredients listed is SD alcohol 40B. Now, I'm sure you're asking, what is that, Ray? And I'm going to tell you this simply. When I looked it up originally, I had to go through what felt like 20 pages trying to get a basic explanation of this, because all they give is a scientific explanation, and you know how scientific words are in today's society. Nobody understands them unless you're a scientist, okay? So, when I was able to get a definition, it was put as easily and simply as this. SD alcohol 40B is a specifically denatured alcohol that is used in older cosmetics, and it is consisted of a mixture of ethanol and alcohol-based components that were used for things such as astringents, solvents, anti-foaming agents, and antimicrobial ingredients. And I'm sorry if I pronounced that word wrong. The purpose of this ingredient was specifically to make it so that the item was undesirable to consumer taste or consumption, but was also considered poisonous in some instances. So basically, what they would do is they would put these in, let's say, for example, perfumes or astringents, so that way kids didn't see the word, let's say, for example, alcohol. Sorry, I'm probably going to get kicked off YouTube for that. And just start chugging the whole thing, okay? It was kind of like having bitter apple for dogs or cats. There were also ingredients such as water, fragrances, dyes, which included yellow number 5 and yellow number 6. That was just a couple that were listed. and flavors such as peppermint and cherry. So those last 4 or 5 things were pretty basic stuff you still see in, cosmetics today. Now, I'll come back to that subject, so let's move on. Though the name Tinkerbell had been used many times before, specifically in 1904 and 1911 by Peter Pan franchise author J.M. Barr or Barry, numerous movie makers, as well as Walt Disney in 1953, the name Tinkerbell was not officially trademarked until Tom Fields acquired the permissions for it. Now, that's another subject we're going to come back to, but I'm going to let you know ahead of time. Spoiler alert, that is going to bite them in the butt big time. The brand was known for selling lipstick, bubble bath, jewelry, hand care, nail polish, lip gloss, hair scrunchies, and more. There were even moments they sold sets that included a mix of these items. They also had occasional or limited edition items, such as, but not limited to, shoulder bags, totes, fashion sets, purses, magical wands, wallets, jewelry boxes, and more. So that stuff would have been like, around the holidays, like, say, for example, Valentine's Day, or if you celebrate Yule or Christmas, around that time of year. Now, here's my elaboration going back to the ingredients. Tinkerbell Cosmetics may have been considered play cosmetics for kids. Truth is, these cosmetics were actual, real cosmetics that could be used or worn daily. Much like a similar idea of cosmetics made for adults today in today's world. Okay? So, the easiest way I can word this so it makes sense is these were like cosmetics that if they existed today, you'd go to some place like Ulta or Sephora to get. They're not like the, oh, look, my daughter is 3 years old and she's going to have a sticker in a little compact that she's going to pretend to put on her eyelashes, her eyelids, and this fake mascara that she's going to put on. No, it wasn't like that. It was like legit, you can go to like a prestige place and pick these up in today's world if they actually existed. Yeah. So just let that sink in for a little bit on how the times have changed. Now, while this may not directly apply to Tinkerbell Cosmetics, there are a lot of vintage cosmetic companies that have been linked back to their products containing things like lead, asbestos, formaldehyde, talc, and so much more, which would label these items not only dangerous but poisonous and carcinogenic based. Luckily, due to FDA standards coming into play and keeping everybody safe, a lot of these laws prohibited certain ingredients from being used in many cosmetics from that point on, as well as being prohibited in sales of items that were geared to kids. Now you understand why I said that they're not like the play toy ones you see in the store now. These laws and regulation may have helped smaller cosmetic companies like Tom Fields / Tinkerbell Cosmetics from succeeding in today's world, thus putting them out of business. Spoiler alert, that was not the only thing that targeted them going out of business. Shh. Tinkerbell Cosmetics was originally sold at toy stores, supermarkets, retail chains, drugstores, and department stores. Now, I'm sure there's at least 2 of you going, Ray, can you tell us where? Yes, I already had that list made too. For those who are curious, these were sold at places like Ames, Ann & Hope, CVS, Osco Drug, Walgreens, Toys R Us, KB's R Us, Kids R Us, Kmart, Star Market, Shaw's, Stop and Shop, Sears, Macy's, Filene's, and more. What a laundry list. Whew. That was a tongue twister and a half. Tinkerbell Cosmetics also used to host cosmetic parties to help sell Tinkerbell Cosmetics to consumers, much like the salespeople who used to do Avon parties, Tupperware parties, or party light parties. And now, in our modern day society, Scentsy parties. And sometimes those parties would feature meet and greets. Now, this is where I got interested because I thought this was pretty cool and pretty ahead of their time. These meet and greets would feature a woman who would dress up as Miss Tinkerbell to help promote the product, as well as, interest kids and meet them. Pretty cool. So they actually were allowing somebody to cosplay ahead of time before cosplay was really a big thing. That's awesome. Now, we're going to move on to the Tinkerbell logo design. Through the years, Tinkerbell had finally gained a basic one-dimension concept art that was used to help sell her products. In the 1960s, Tinkerbell's fairy image was first debuted. However, like many good things in today's society, that art had several changes over the years. Tinkerbell's original design was in black and white to start. It makes sense with the time period. In the 1970s, Tinkerbell was still the original black and white fairy design, but had more of a childlike appearance and donned a bonnet, and sometimes she was carrying flowers. In the 1980s, yeah, 80s babies, Tinkerbell again faced a makeover where she was now portrayed as a long blonde haired fairy in a red dress, occasionally carrying a magic wand or even nestling in a cloud. The late 1980s to early 1990s, woo! Good timeline for everybody. Tinkerbell was once again receiving a magical makeover. This time, her red dress was traded in for a blue dress. She gained wings and a wand. Tom Fields was also ahead of their time and dipping their toes into diversity by including an African American version of Tinkerbell that had uh, dreadlocks or braids as we know them today, and a crown. Tinkerbell mainly remained portrayed as a blonde with blue eyes until 1997. The pixie dust mine runs dry. In 1999, Tinkerbell Cosmetics was acquired by a company named Renaissance, whom changed the company name to New Dana Perfumes, which is now, as of 2023, Dana Perfumes. New Dana Perfumes paid $29 million to purchase Tinkerbell Cosmetics and all its assets from Tom Fields Tinkerbell Cosmetics through Renaissance. Oh god. They Disneyed Tinkerbell Cosmetics. Like how Disney bought out all of the Fox and their partners' assets. Yay. That ain't good. Now, in 2001, New Dana Perfumes sued Disney. This is where I said it comes back to bite them in the butt that they trademarked Tinkerbell. Shh. Hear me out. Over the Tinkerbell name and logo. New Dana claimed it was copyright infringement since they owned all the rights to Tom Fields and Tinkerbell's assets. Unfortunately, like all good judicial system with people with big money, the court sided with Disney using the Tinkerbell's image, name, and because they used it for 40 plus years, since New Dana had very little to no evidence proving that Disney copyright infringed and their allegations regarding it, the courts ruled in the favor of Disney over New Dana perfumes. And New Dana perfumes lost their court case. And that is where it was the beginning of the end for Tinkerbell Cosmetics. I was not able to find any more information from that point on regarding Tinkerbell Cosmetics, New Dana, or Renaissance. And I did spend a good 2 weeks looking after that. But that being said, folks, tell me, what do you think of that ruling? Do you think Disney should have won it, or do you think New Dana should have won since they had the trademark since at least the 50s or 60s? Do you think it was a stupid choice for New Dana to go against Disney in the first place? Listen, I'd love to hear your opinion. So please voice your opinions in the comments below. And for those who are curious, yes, collectors still can purchase Tinkerbell Cosmetics today. However, there is no website so that way you can buy them to use them or anything. You can buy them off of things like eBay, possibly Mercari, and they are being advertised as collector's items on Pinterest. Now, for those who want to do that, I would definitely not advise you to use these cosmetics if you buy them. Definitely use display item only, and be careful of what you use because you don't know how through the years it has been stored or what has happened to the ingredients. So just remember, buyer beware. But a lot of these products are like $40 and above. It might seem like chump change to many, but just keep in mind, a lot of these products were like $3.99 to $6.99 a piece. That's a huge increase through the years. So, that being said, I am glad you joined me on this magical journey to learn more about Tinkerbell Cosmetics. I am sorry for the tongue-tied vibe through the video. Please forgive me. And I have to go because my phone's beeping at me. So, I'll check you all later and stay magical. Bye, everybody.